Prairie Sun Recording. I knew when I was in grade school that I wanted to come to California. I wanted to open a recording studio. Also, I am a musician, full on. I do still pay a lot of attention to my own career with that. And so I knew this when I was like 10 or 11. And I would go out in my dad's garage and fantasize, like, someday I'm going to go to California. And I think you guys can relate to that vision. And I'm going to work with the Grateful Dead. Well, sure enough, we did the remix of the whole European tour, 72, 56 cities, a 6-month project. And so what they say, be careful what you wish for, because we actually did the longest contiguous mixing session. In a 6-month period, we did 56 shows in Europe, in Studio B, on a Neve console, just like the same Neve console that they used to record it. And that's why they came up here. So to describe our 3 recording studios and our mastering studio, we'll start with Studio A. Studio A today has an 80 input SSL mixing desk, a plethora of outboard gear, a massive amount of outboard gear. The room was tuned by Manny Lacaruba from the record plant, who did a number of the rooms down there. So Manny came in and helped us design the room, and then we put an SSL in there, and we had tape machines in there for a number of years, but now it's mainly always just Pro Tools. That's our mixing room. It has an ISO booth. Studio B, where we're sitting right now, I would say it's a medium-sized control room. It has our Neve mixing desk, the Townsend mixing desk. It has a 2-inch Studer tape machine and an up-to-date Pro Tools system. It's a smaller room, but it's very intimate, and the sound of Studio B, I think, is very, very, very cool. Studio C, which has a 80 series Neve console. That, by the way, that desk originally came from the BBC. So a lot of bands would come to the BBC in London to record for the radio show. And so it was one of their recording desks. So there's a little, provenance going on here, right? Which we love that. Did Bob Marley come in for the afternoon, and record for South Africa and Kenya, or, the Empire? I just love that kind of thing. And with that, what we all love about that room is basically 2 very large, what were once warehouses for chicken operations. We modified one of the rooms for recording. It's called the Prairie Room. Very famous, actually. A lot of recordings done down there. And then the actual tracking room is just an open room with the control room in one corner, and then an open space, and then attached to that is what we call the weights room. So the weights room is a very unique kind of, not a large circumference, but high ceilings, redwood lath walls, which, by the way, we have found out, our videographer is a drummer, so he understands resonance and flex in the wood. So that was actually not bolted in, real tight like this. It's like little air spaces with these little spacers. So the redwood lath in that room is like a drum, right? So it became very famous by Tom Waits. So that's what we call the Waits room. And we're very proud to have that room, but he spent 1989 through 2001 and recorded all kinds of projects which are easily found by people: Bone Machine, Mule Variations, Black Rider, small projects for independent filmmakers, all kinds of public service announcements. So Studio C is what I call, rightfully so, the Wild West. And we have a mastering room as well in our office building.